it is red.
Huh?
Oh, hey. Party people in the place to be. We are live and direct right here at the Nightlife Entrepreneur with our special guest, Mr. Adriano Bremner.
Bring home the Bremner.
Bremner. Did I say that right?
Bremner.
Bremner. Okay.
Bremner.
And Juan Camilo. You like that?
Thank you. Yes.
Did I say that right?
JC?
Right,
Do people call you JC?
Call it JC. And of course, our man JM in the place to be.
Hashtag marshmallow.
Hashtag that marshmallow, all right? Don't be coming here talking anything that he doesn't like to hear because he'll put a marshmallow in your mouth.
There you go.
Hashtag that. So here we are, man. We keep surviving, right? We got our views.
Episode number 8, man.
Eight? I thought it was like 12 or
It's a
something.
little more, but it's really
Okay.
number 8.
All right.
It feels like
Episode number 8. Here we are. You know, Cusqueña's still here. We have the book. All right. If you haven't gone to Amazon, where else? Where else could they get this book? Nightlife.
Really?
Amazon.
That's
Oh, okay.
the one place. Go
Yeah,
find me and I'll get
I
it
know,
for
right?
you.
Just you can't go to Macy's because they closed.
Yeah, on the website.
Just go to Amazon.com, get that book. Where could they follow you?
You can follow me at The Nightlife Entrepreneur on Instagram. You can find us at nightlifeentrepreneurs.com/podcast. You can find us on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. Where else? Everywhere?
Hollywood.
There you go.
We're coming.
So, Nightlife Entrepreneur,
Yes.
guys.
Yeah,
And
Nightlife Entrepreneur.
today we're going to have an awesome episode. I don't know if you guys want to give your handles,
Yeah, where could people find you, reach you?
your company.
Oh, our website, HMSprotection.com.
HMSprotection.com.
Cool. And people can follow me at Ico Taps Beer and at Doral Food and Wine Festival. Thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you so much for your comments, your feedback. You know, we love doing this, and I think a lot of people are learning, you know, based on the feedback we're getting. Very positive. Thank you all for listening, for watching, and just for being a part of us. So here we are with the security company that keeps people safe at night, at the nighttime events, clubs, special parties, private events, you know, like, listen, we thought this was going to be all about the nightlife club business, but it looks like there's just many other windows.
It's spreading, unfortunately, in the world that we're living.
Yes.
It's a very dangerous one.
So are we living a dangerous world right now?
Well, we need to be more aware as a human beings with our families, with our friends, the places that we go and everything. I mean, it's very unfortunate that we're into this situation, but you know, I mean, for us, you know, gives us a living.
Yeah.
As a business.
As a business gives us a living. So
what's the name of the company again?
HMS Protection.
HMS. Does it stand for anything like Home Master Service?
No, it's
Like, help!
yeah.
Help.
help me.
Help me,
sir.
sucker. Help me, sucker.
Help me, sir. No.
Yeah. So what is it?
No, we started in 2004. I founded the business with my mother. It stands for High Maintenance Services.
Cool. Nice.
I was 17, turning 18 when it all started. I was with a girl that was going to Lourdes at the time.
By the way, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt, but he's a 3rd degree black belt. Okay, just so you know.
Kung Fu Panda.
Can't fool exactly. All right, because as a security guy, like, you know, security guys are usually you know.
No.
Yeah, you know, that's something I always have in mind. Like, do you guys do you have to be big? You know, that's one question people ask all the time. If you're a security guard, do you have to be a big person?
not necessarily.
Yeah.
As long as you be able to, you know, for me, and my expertise is basically common sense. You need to be very, you know, have a very great common sense, very driven person, and be able to know how to talk.
Yeah, you gotta be a good talker.
Because at the end of the day, everything resumes, and in my end, I would like to basically resume in verbal judo. You know how to basically talk to people, diffuse a situation by just making sense
Did
to
you
the
just
other
say
person.
verbal judo?
Yes, that's actually a technique in security. It's called
Hashtag verbal judo.
yeah. It's when you basically diffuse a situation by talking, and be able to basically
We do
remove.
verbal judo every night, all the time with the wife. Once you get married, dude, we're verbal judo Watsies. What?
Yeah, but that's a one that we always lose. Yeah,
Oh, for
I know.
sure.
Yeah, I know, right?
yeah.
I'm a white belt there.
I have no belt.
Okay, so that's
But
wow.
yeah, you need to possess those type of skills. Be
Awesome.
able to, common sense.
Give us an idea of what do you mean by verbal judo? Like what?
It's
type of skills you're
basically when you're engaged into a situation in a particular establishment, mostly, like we're in the nightlife, a club,
Right.
a bar, a lounge. You see people already getting aggressive.
Okay.
You start talking to them and start making reason that basically they're intoxicated, and we're not. So
already
just-
there.
just
Start
in case
reminding them.
just to remind them, and also to know that this is a very well-known, well-put establishment. We want to be able to welcome them back,
Right.
and we don't want them to basically lose their business. But for today, we need them to grab an Uber, assist them in all of that, or go home or anything. So
Do you have a limit where you say, okay, there's no verbal judo applied
No.
over here. We gotta go
Just karate
towards the
chop is
next.
good.
No karate chop. That the verbal judo is like the most important part. I'm in. So my part is the liability.
Yeah, and before, because I'm sorry, I interrupted you, and I wanted you to finish. You started the business with your mom, and we got to come back to now the
Oh,
verbal
okay.
judo.
No,
Also,
of course.
And I'm sorry that we did that, but
Yeah,
I want to
we
know.
We do that, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was dating a
It's
girl.
part of the nightlife.
At the time, I was dating a girl at the time here in Miami. I was 17, 18, and she went to Lourdes. So
What was her name?
No names.
Shout out to that girl.
Just in case.
But we'll
one of
find
the-
her.
That's
She
one
was
of the
at-
things in
she was a
security
girl.
that we
Yeah.
need to learn is confidentiality.
Confidential.
So no-
Oh, very
no
good.
names.
There you go.
No
Yeah.
names.
No,
That's
find
why
her.
find us on our website.
Lourdes 1996.
Please
Instagram.
follow us on
No, nothing. Website.
say, website. That's it. They don't.
So they have a little stigma, not all.
Okay.
So that they're a little bit high maintenance. So I remember as I was typing the name on Sunbiz, coming up with the name, and she was on the phone, and here I am like broke, and she's just like, oh, I'm gonna buy a Mercedes. My parents are getting it. And I was like,
Oh, wow, she
you're
has
so
money.
high maintenance. And I
For
was
those
like,
of
"Wait,
you not from Miami,
Yeah.
Lourdes Academy is a private
Oh.
school over here for girls
Oh, I see.
that are mainly
High maintenance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can't. Yeah, it's not all.
not all of them.
yeah.
Not all of them. I have
But
great friends from Lourdes.
Same here,
Cool.
but
Shout outs to that school.
so I said to her, "You're so high maintenance," and then
Oh.
I was like, "Whoa, that's the name of my company."
There you go.
I
And I
like it.
finished typing it. She's like, "So you're gonna name it
Whoa.
after?" And I was like,
But you guys
"It's
do more than security in high main.
Right, yeah. We really started as a janitorial service for
There you go.
office buildings and commercial work only.
Okay.
And then my customers were like, hey, we need security at the front desk. We need this. And I said, okay.
That's cool.
Then,
That's what it drives the whole security part of it.
that's how it all started.
And it's basically
That's how it all started.
what is carrying the flag pretty much.
No.
Yeah.
Because it's a big business. The whole cleaning business.
And
You
the,
said
the
buildings.
demand on the security now.
Now it's
Because
getting
you're cleaning, and then I'm assuming your contractors will say, "Hey, you're cleaning.
You're doing
and
commercial
there's things
cleaning,
We need to make
they-
sure that
yeah.
stay
Yeah.
safe while you're cleaning.
Yeah,
So get a security.
exactly.
Awesome.
So the vision,
There you
the,
go, people.
the
Man, let's
visionary
have it
part
there.
was on him.
Okay.
Originally, like I was explaining you
Covered that.
Yeah,
Okay.
pre.
All right. Now we're going to.
But I like,
Oh.
before we go there, I actually want to say how the cleaning even started.
Okay. Yes.
So I actually started cleaning nightclubs. So I think
Okay.
I think the
Mhm.
the strongest message that I want to send out to anybody out there is there's two types of people. There's the ones that go party and get drunk and pass out and don't make up anything. The next day they're going to a regular job and they're not much going on. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't drink. I would drink, but not to get drunk. I would try to make friends in this atmosphere because there's all types of people that you'll run into going out. That's just the
Okay.
way it is. Maybe
Right.
that day you run into someone that doesn't go out that much, but they turn out to be a venture capitalist, and you
Got
just
it.
met him that day. He realizes that you weren't that drunk either. You guys clicked, you vibed, you started making business. That's how I did it. I started cleaning nightclubs. That was my first.
So you kind of identified, you were like, okay, let me start going to clubs and let me start kind of networking
Yeah.
with those people, not drink. You went with an agenda, like to connect, to network, because what? You already knew you wanted to do a business that was related to the nightlife, but
Yeah.
indirectly.
I
Because
found
if
it
you're
out.
cleing the club,
Yeah.
you were, that's interesting,
I
right?
don't
You
think he
wanted
even
to-
realizes it.
Yeah.
Like because he was, the cleaning with the nightclubs, the security with the nightclubs. He also promoted for a little while, so a few parties.
Yeah.
He did, the
So
car
it was
wash
almost
business, was with the girls that you were taking to the nightclubs. All those.
Yeah, so it
different
was
things.
it was almost like you
It's
were
nightlife entrepreneurship in the end.
exactly you.
It was a staple.
He was
Nightlife
driven
and
to the
daytime.
industry.
Yes,
and the
for sure.
daytime
It all
because
started.
you were.
It all started because of.
So you had that vision.
When did you join?
Well, the other two partners in this is myself and Joaquin Barcia. He's right now traveling in a business-related matter. He's
Nice.
with an A-lister, celebrity.
Can we say names there? Or can we shake our hips?
I think it's safe. There's some things that we keep in confidentiality.
Okay.
And one thing that we can say, and it's a very big event in the Caribbean in Aruba. He's in the Soul Caribbean Festival with Maxwell,
Okay.
Nice. The singer.
the singer,
Maxwell,
yeah, the
great
R&B,
singer.
R&B,
Wow.
yeah.
Ere,
So he does the personal security
outs
for
to
him, and
Maxwell, great
also
singer.
yeah, great artist.
He's right now his personal security.
He has been for the past 8 years.
Wow.
So you guys that are interested in getting into the nightlife business on the security side of things, realize that it's not only the clubs. When you end up in security, it grows into different areas.
Yeah.
And from what I see, what you guys do, and I've actually seen it from a couple companies, is that you guys do personal security
Correct.
for A-listers or big names.
Correct. Yeah, it's one of the I would say as an octopus. It's one of the arms.
Okay.
and it all began with being in nightclubs that you made these connections.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm assuming
absolutely.
all these A-listers go to the clubs.
Absolutely.
The club owners kind of say, "Hey, my security company, they're nice, they're gentle giants. Hey, they refer you, and it's kind of all together."
Exactly.
Right. So
absolutely.
that's great.
Yeah.
That look at that.
He had the cleaning, and he had, like I'm saying, the entry on it, the in on it. Me and Joaquin, we had the experience. We starting probably 2003, 2002, and we basically did the whole stairwell.
Okay.
We came from officers to eventually supervisors, then to gatekeepers, doormans, and everything. Then to basically work in the hospitality side, in the hotel aspect and everything. Work private, work for companies, work for directly hotels. To the point that another friend brought us together, and it was actually a point that Juan basically had the demand by him being in janitorial of the commercial properties that he does, and to basically ask for more security services, or you can refer me these people, and then he basically took upon himself the initiative of sit us down and branch out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's been 5 years.
Exactly what happened.
And it's been 5 years. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
In the nightclub part of the business, you were mentioning a couple of different positions.
Yeah.
You mentioned, security. I usually see security at the door. I see security, in the room, walking around, whatnot. That's
the rover.
Right. Rover is what you call it?
Yeah.
Rover.
Rover, yeah.
Is the person who walks around checking on everything. That's
Exactly.
pretty much.
Pretty much is the
Rover.
next to the supervisor. The supervisor is the one that is roving around.
Okay.
Depends on the size and on the amount of people. Basically, we have a kind of like a table or an estimate of per every 50 people, we should have one guy. 50 to 75.
1 per 50. What happens
One
when
per
you end up having a big party? Because that's something that we had. It's an issue that we had a few times. This conversation, security started becoming a bigger expense. When more companies were coming and people were actually licensed to do this. Before it was just, let me get a couple friends who are big and let's do this.
Exactly.
And then we got sued a few times. So
Wow.
for the all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
It all takes a learning curve. And
Oh, for
that's,
sure.
That's what happens, yeah.
So, in order for a nightclub to avoid a nightclub or even a promoter, sometimes depending on if the promoter is the one that was handling the night, to avoid certain expenses, one of the first things that we would cut would be security. Not cut it. We would talk about cutting it. Let's say, for example, we used to have this club, Yahe, back in the day, where we needed probably around, I don't know, we had over 1,000 people, 1,200 people.
You need a security there.
So for 1,200 people, you recommend about 24 people, 24 men. 24 men.
so much.
Right. So exactly. So if I have 24 men at 1,200 people,
Actually,
it becomes,
I remember the days in
That built up
Yahe.
fast.
it adds up. You know,
Exactly.
It adds
I
up, and it also kind of like
I remember.
I don't know,
it's uncomfortable for the clientele.
Yeah, because you
Seeing
want to
so
be
many.
able to, you want to be able to jump on the table. Right?
No, we got it. I mean, and we understand,
Yeah.
and we in the industry, we let them, But at the end of the day, there's things called assessment. Like for instance, a nightlife.
Right.
You have that amount of people per se when you hosting Ultra, which is a festival here in Miami and everything, or you hosting
You guys
a big
work
game.
Ultra?
Yeah, we
That's
have
intense.
more in the personal side. I would say there's another companies that they do the
Okay.
kind of like the
event staff.
the event
Which
staff
is
and everything.
easier. You guys do more of the
And
DJs.
Yeah, the DJs. Sometimes the DJs,
The artists.
the artists that they just go for just
Nice.
for a 5-10 minutes
Yeah, to
presentation.
check it
and
out.
come. Yeah,
Will Smith.
So
that
so
was
what
there.
so what do you say to somebody? Let's say I'm the club and I'm calling you and I say I got 1,200 people and I need security for this night. What?
I need to make the assessment first.
Go check out the
What
crowd.
is the crowd that you're having? What is the
Okay.
crowd that you're bringing? What type of night that you are you having?
Okay. But you start from there. You start from around 50 people per man, or
Yeah, around that. I mean, like I'm saying, it varies.
Okay.
In a fair assessment, look up for. Let me give you an example. Look at Live. How many people do Live have?
right 2,000, let's say.
Yeah, 2,000, let's say, but easily they have like 30 security guards. 30 security
Okay.
guards. Easy. If you walked in over there, you have like at least 4 in the door, smoking area, bathrooms, like I say, is very important because you need to basically keep an eye. Stairwells,
Right.
people not falling or anything. Especially, you need to see everything.
Right.
First, the demographics. Second, about the layout of the place,
Right.
because you can cut costs like that.
Right.
But then again, observing is the best way for basically saying and give you a better or a best estimate of what is exactly what you need.
Right. Yeah. And in the end, for example, if I never got a there was never like 24 people working a night where we had like 1,200 people. It was probably around
15.
15 to 18 people, depending on the night and the company that was working too, and the crowd, like you say. If it wasn't like my usual night, the Saturday night that we used to do ourselves, our crowd was not a rowdy crowd. Like there was fighting back then, but the fighting back then was very more
Yeah, it was-
scratching and slapping than real
Yeah.
than real fights. And
Let go.
And as a matter of fact, we were at that age
Yeah.
back then that you look for the fight. Nowadays
Yeah.
things have changed for some reason.
Yeah, it's all about love right now.
It's man. I don't like what
So
is
people
it?
are like, yo, man, you have a problem? Text me, man. Follow me on
Yeah,
Instagram.
Come on, give me a hug. Like,
Exactly.
look, I guess
Yeah.
people are applying the Yoda.
No, but even though, check this out. It's funny, right? So we're saying that, but really things are more dangerous now, right? Because there's like, I'll
I
give
would
you an
say
example, like the Doral Food and Wine
industry-
Festival.
In the
right?
industry, yes, are more dangerous because of what happened in the world.
What's
But we're
happening?
focusing
What's happening in the
We're
world,
focusing
right?
on the nightlife.
Right.
Of course, we need to be aware. But it's like you guys said, in the nightlife part, everybody just go to basically unwind and relax and be
Exactly.
more friendly.
Right.
Also goes beyond say that, we all grew in this industry.
Right.
Exactly.
Right now, that's the way we feel.
Exactly.
10 years ago, if you step on my shoe, maybe I would be like, hey.
Yeah.
But it all depends because
But,
if
exactly.
my shoes are new and white, then we're gonna have a problem.
Exactly.
It was Biggie and Tupac. It's their fault back
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
Yes.
Like, back in the day, like what? You stepped on my sneaker. You know the classic do the right thing scene, right? Like what? You stepped on my sneaker. Now let me ask you this: like, I've had them work the Doral Food and Wine Festival.
Yeah, thank you very much, by the
And
way.
yeah, no, thank you guys. You guys do a great job, and you guys also kind of like advise me as far as how much security I should have at the festival. And also with the festival, I bring in a lot of police officers,
Of
right?
course.
The police officers are they come into the festival and they do what they do and they protect us in case of something real serious that could happen, like what happened in Vegas. What happens? So talk to me about when you guys wake up and hear the news and see that things like that happen in schools nowadays. That nowadays, I'm noticing now. I don't know if you've noticed when you drop off your kid in school, you see more police officers. Talk to us about where we are beyond the nightclub, like, or because of what's happening. I don't know if it's gun control. I don't know if it's easier. I don't know. Is America angry? I don't know. How how do you you guys get together? Do you guys talk about this? Is there a strategy? Do you feel, more business, less business? How do you diffuse what's happening?
Well, certainly the political climate hasn't helped because it's given a voice to those that may have been quiet for a while or that were probably bullied in certain situations. It depends on your polarity at the moment, but
Okay.
that's what we see. Now they feel okay. This is okay to do. It's supported.
So even though we feel that we're living that love fusion kind of vibe where people in clubs and the nightlife don't really tend to fight. I think I don't know if it's just that people are more rational, kind of like, man, I went out, I'm not gonna ruin my night.
Right.
I want to say
so they kinda
rationality.
piece it out.
Rationality is one thing, and awareness is another
Right.
one.
It's just polarized. So we have two sides that.
And let me tell you, and tell me if I'm wrong, I think social media also plays a part in people not reacting as bad
Of course.
because they know that if
You'll be out there right away.
if you react bad and everybody starts
Snap on
recording
you.
you,
You'll be live
You're
and
gonna
direct.
you're gonna be live and direct, like being a bully or whatever.
And that,
So
why
that
now-
doesn't erase.
No,
It will haunt you forever.
Yeah.
exactly. So
Now,
how do you? Where's the? How do you feel?
where
Is
we
it
standing
job
on that?
harder
Well,
now or?
No, to be honest, it's just. I mean, we just need to basically come together, and we have. I'm pretty much the ones that I also told these guys or break the news to these guys. Hey, listen, look what is happening, and we have a shooting this place. We have a crazy guy and his friends driving, crashing people around and everything, and we just need to be more aware.
Right. Especially, I mean, maybe not as much in the nightlife as like all
Aspect,
that
but we
private
don't-
security.
we don't
for
know
example,
yet.
if you
We have to be
illicit-
aware.
Oh, of course.
Because
for sure,
this
for
is
sure.
something that is happening, and it's happening in our schools. Look the other day was a concert in Vegas.
Right.
50,000 people got shot. I mean,
Let me
it's
ask you a question.
crazy.
How do you feel about
50,000.
How do you feel
I mean,
about having
50 people.
metal
Oh.
detectors? Metal detectors
like,
at an entrance. I know how I feel about it being,
Metal
as a
detectors.
club owner. I can tell you it is the worst thing ever.
Okay, you don't like metal detectors at
I mean,
a
I
club.
don't, because if you come to a place where there's a metal detector, it's basically telling me
Telling
that
me
kind of
there's
people
something-
is
there's something
are
going on.
there,
There's something going on.
But
Okay.
but if something's really going on, like right now, something is going on. We just don't know where it's going on.
Exactly.
You know?
Well,
So-
there is technologies, like there's the small garrets which we
Right.
carry. We have they're like this, and then basically you just
Is it
kind of like if
where
you're
you
doing a
kinda
pat
scan
down.
them?
Exactly.
Yeah, we use those at the festival.
Of the
Right.
festival, remember?
Do you guys communicate with the police officers when you work together?
Oh yeah, I mean obviously we recommend in big events police, obviously because situation can get out of hands, and we're gonna need their assistance. And also just in case of an emergency, it's good to
Right.
have badges there.
Yeah, off-duty police. For those of you that don't normally use it, I mean, in a city like Miami, off-duty police is necessary. You should have it at a club. I mean, you can have a super high-end clientele and not need it, or a very small venue. But if you have something where people are drinking, it's always
It's always good.
idea.
If you're expecting more
And
than
do you have the metal
600,
detectors?
700 people, you need
sure.
to have it.
Do you have the metal detectors or
No, I don't use them. I don't like. I wouldn't like them.
who suggests
around.
the metal detector? Are you guys the ones that say?
Remember, I mean, we were talked about it, and you wanted to basically make sure everything was good. And I brought the little ones.
Yeah, we need adults.
Yeah, in a
because-
festival, you need it for sure
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
don't know
But, you,
100%.
but do you notice the guys actually?
Yeah, of course.
They were actually doing it very,
Yeah, just cool.
Just cool,
making sure that
Right.
no
people
one-
understand. I mean,
I
But-
would strongly suggest it in today's world. I mean, the
today's-
debate is even should we install them in schools. But I think as soon as they start becoming a common product that people are just used to seeing,
Exactly.
then it won't be
That's when it
that venue
changes.
is less than better because
It all
they
depends
have-
on how you look at it.
Yeah.
If I look at it as a parent, I go put them everywhere. In all the clubs. Yeah.
Give somebody a tip right now, and how to, sometimes I see situations that happen in a club. What should it's so funny because in a club when something goes down, right? Something bad happens. You can't really hear what the security is telling you and what you're
Right.
telling the security, right? So how do you deal with the situation? What advice could you give a person that a security guard comes up to that person and says, "Hey, you come," or
Simple.
grabs them or follow
Yeah.
or
Yeah, no, we tell them immediately, oye, get the Instagram hashtag o no sé qué, mándale dos cuchillitos y una pistolita en DM y ya el tipo se calma.
I was gonna say okay.
Well, that was the joke
No,
space
it's a
for
joke.
which
You don't
I
like
always
that, right?
which I always get to them. I love them to them. Which I always get to them.
Yeah.
Stop joking because what we do is no joke.
Exactly.
No, we do joke around in the
that's
office.
the
and
new way to
everything.
find out.
was
Hey,
funny,
what's your-
right?
what's your
He didn't like
Instagram?
that. He was like,
No.
No, but the thing is actually we try to basically, and going back to
That
what
was
is verbal
funny.
judo,
Right.
I'm trying to
Okay.
basically get the full attention of the person that I am targeting, or to basically remove
remember,
the
I want you to
situation.
give the guy a tip, whoever's listening,
Exactly.
how to not get grabbed and pulled out.
Remember last week we had Yanni Morgado.
Yes.
Shout out.
Oh yeah, we had Yanni.
And Yanni Morgado, who
Check
worked
it
with
out.
us for as a waitress
Great.
server for about 10 years. She mentioned she had one incident in the 10 years that she's done it, 9 years. And
Shout
she
out
said,
to Yanni, by the way.
she said there was one guy that basically came up to me as I was walking up the stairs and grabbed my ass.
No, she didn't say
Yeah.
that. She said
Was it?
gluten.
Or
She's
her
into-
glutes, actually, her glutes. Yeah,
Okay,
she's
she's
in
a-
fitness now, so it's glutes. It's no longer
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah.
But anyway, the guy thought
Yeah.
it was an ass, so he grabbed her glutes.
Yes.
So anyway, the point, of course, that guy got.
No, but she reacted like she told the guy like, oh, she kind of reacted, and the guy punched her in the
Punched
head.
her.
Well, at that
Right after.
at that particular moment when it gets
Yeah.
physical, for us is
What's the order?
safety first.
Okay.
For my employees.
So grab the waitress.
Yeah.
So you grab her.
You grab her, take her out of the situation, and then I'm dealing with the guy. If it gets physical, man, we're gonna get physical. We don't want it.
Got it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I'm saying, we talk, we try to diffuse, but once you get physical with any patron,
So where
staff-
does physical start? Is
Yes.
physical touching or is physical pushing? Is physical hitting?
Physical, it must be, hitting,
Punch,
aggression.
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 So first tip: do not touch the security.
No, I mean,
Don't
First,
be-
first is do not touch for everyone's sake.
For everyone,
the
yeah.
promoter, the owner of the club, the liability
touch.
is don't touch. But if the other
explain the
person,
situation.
yeah, if the other person throws the punch first and then they
I
continue,
know
you
there's-
or
they-
punch or I'll tell you what happens.
Explain
When
the
people are
situation. Yeah,
when people
yeah.
are drinking, and they see a security guard come there, they usually they're not stupid. They see a big guy coming in. They
Right.
usually
Dressed
tell
in black usually or a suit.
they
Dressed in
usually
black, yeah.
touch to kind of let the guy know I'm not aggressive,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of touch, right?
Right.
And then that security says don't touch me.
Well,
That usually can make the person say
escalate his aggression.
yes,
Right.
Or feel in a moment threatened and basically start,
How many
Exactly.
times have you guys heard something at that moment like you wanna be policeman? All those those
Every night.
those kinds
Yeah,
of
all the time.
dumb comments because people
Exactly.
do come up,
Every night they call us rent a cops. They
Right.
call
So
us
do you
every-
recommend don't touch? Just
We need
Go
to basically
outside.
set the example. I tell my guys, listen, if they're cursing at your mother, calling you a mother,
right?
hey, good. He's reminded.
say it, by the way.
Yeah, he's reminded you.
Son of a all
Yeah.
those things you can say them here.
Okay, well, if they call you a son of a bitch or a motherfucker,
Yeah.
he's reminding you about your mom. You just tell
Right.
him, hey, listen, man, I'm politely telling you that, let me remove you from the situation. I'm trying to take it out.
Exactly.
If it's an
try to take
altercation,
it out of the club.
trying to take it out, walk him out
Okay.
to separate it from maybe the other aggressor.
Let me stop you right
Okay.
there. Let's say that situation, we're going back to Yanni and the glutes grabbing, and the guy has her. At that point, it's already grabbing, so somebody
Yeah,
should
it's
be
grabbing,
doing something.
yeah.
But let's say it got even worse, and it's the aggression. The guy hit her.
Punched her, yeah.
She's down. Somebody went to help her. One person's taking this guy out.
Yeah.
I assume the most important thing is you need communication between you and
Communication.
the rest of the team.
Of
right?
course.
I've seen a lot of clubs that don't want to spend the money on that little.
That's important. That's key.
Yeah.
Communication.
on that gadget.
Yeah.
on that
Communication.
Yeah.
Communication is key
They're like,
in
oh, we're a
security.
small place. You go find the person. No, man, that's
Hey, we have a situation like that.
No,
Instead of like saying,
no.
with
You need
music.
we have a-
You know.
You need to have a radios, and even though my guys, I'm telling you, me as a security company, we do have our own radios. It comes with a cost. If you don't want to provide me and I have to put radios over there at standby, obviously I'm going to charge you a little bit more because I need to bring my equipment and charge it and leave it there pretty much at your establishment. But for us, we have another techniques. Like for instance, when we see a situation like that, obviously it happens like you were saying, or kind of like on a stairwell that she was actually going up and somebody grabbed her, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Usually in every stairwell you need to have a person or close
Right.
to it.
Oh, okay.
There-
you
up
meant
and
you
down.
did
There was
mention
somebody
that.
right there.
You did
Exactly.
mention that.
So then again, if you happens to basically as a club owner or or owner of an establishment or owner of the party, you don't have the proper communication. I instructed all of my guys, and this is something that is Security 101. Whoever is listening to this and is interested in security, you need to basically keep your flashlights, especially when you work in nightlife. If you can communicate, all that you do is flash, and somebody from security who has to be aware is going to see he's a flashing going over there, so all of the units are moving to that.
Does the flashlight ever become a weapon?
Good question.
Well,
Yes, I've seen it.
the way that they're designing it right now, they're basically tactically it's for break glass in case of a situation or something. It could be a weapon. It could, but it's not intended for us to use it. We're intended to basically
Use it as a code. Calling code.
to help. You know what I mean? And there is any situation contained. Let's say that you have a glass that is a big fish tank.
Right. I mean, the reason I asked that is because there's two types of flashlights that I see in our business. And we have the girls, the waitresses, servers,
The little ones.
And the ones with the little H.
one, right? And then
Those
the
are for-
security one,
There's a big black.
which is a baseball bat, pretty much with a light.
Yeah.
So and it is pretty much a weapon, but yeah.
It depends how you basically see it.
Right.
I recommend my guys first. I mean, of course, the higher luminance, the better, because that can actually go against any light, even the club lights and anything. And basically where you're standing. Once you do the rover, once the person that is walking the whole club, which is technically the supervisor or the guy in charge, he knows where everybody's standing. And obviously he does a post recognition for everybody. So in case you have an emergency and you don't have a radio, or there's a few radios, the person that doesn't have a radio see a flashing light, he needs to move towards it.
Okay.
Or if he flashes the light, he knows where the other security
Another
are coming.
question. Okay, so do you guys have different kinds of codes for, let's say, the type of emergency?
Yeah, like flash 1, flash 2, flash.
And the question I ask it because of this. Say, okay, in this case, they hit her, right? So you want somebody there fast because you have no idea what this guy's able to do after that, right? He's gonna do, but you want somebody there fast. But one of the issues I've seen a lot at the clubs is 20 security running towards one place, and it was because somebody looked at somebody bad, and everybody was called, and everybody ran, and nothing ever happened. But everybody else that was at the club went, shit,
What
and
happened?
it's bad for the party.
No, I understand. As a promoter standpoint,
Right.
it's
Club
bad. It
owner.
looks bad and everything.
Right.
But then has to be, what happened. We need to basically assess the situation first.
Right.
That's why there is a rover. And not everybody could be a rover.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You have persons that they're good at what they do. They're observing in the bathroom any type of transaction movements and everything. There's guys that that they're good just to contain this door.
You guys watch the bathrooms?
Of course, it's
For a lot of
important.
stuff?
It's important.
Why?
You need to.
Why do
There
you
has
have
to be a bathroom post.
There has to be a bathroom post, my friend. I mean, there's a lot of
What happens
drugs.
in there? Okay.
Okay.
Drugs,
There's a lot of
sex.
Yeah.
So you guys are watching that,
Exactly.
like how many people come in, how many people come out, how long he takes, all that.
You have to be attentive to those details.
You have to- Now, if that person who and we're just going to use the same scenario. Okay, boom, you grab the guy, he gets physical with you, then you get physical with him, you take him outside the club.
We try
and
to
now-
take them outside the club as fast as possible.
Okay, so throughout that situation, there's physicality happening. You go outside, and now what's the situation? Now the police gets involved.
If there's police outside, yeah, we throw them directly to the police.
Where does the police officer have you guys ever had a situation where you felt you weren't supported by the police? Does that happen? Like how does is the police officer and the security company one, or could the police officer say, hey, no, this guy has witnesses that are saying that you, the security, were their aggressor in this case. Let's say, and you does that ever happen, or is there a communication where the police officer, as you guys being a security company, gives you the respect to say, hey, let me hear your side and tell me what's going on? And does that happen?
It depends. Usually you're
99%.
one.
Yeah,
But there's
99%
usually
I would say,
that one exception that
It's
maybe,
gonna depend on the security. It's gonna depend on the police officer, and it's gonna depend on who the person that got hit
exactly.
or not hit was.
Sometimes the police is like,
Yeah.
oh, I know him.
In Yanni's case, going back to her and,
Yeah.
and the glute day, the person that hit her was married to she said
Oh,
a judge.
yes, a judge.
And it so happened that this person got kicked the
whip?
shit out of at the club, you know. But in the end,
Got
nothing
away
happened.
with it,
You
with
know,
the
got away with
situation.
it afterwards
Wow.
because of who he was married to. So that kind of shit happens.
That is I know, but that's very unfortunate for her, and I'm
Right.
very
Yeah.
sorry that happened to you, man. I'm sorry, and probably
Call Adriano, that won't happen.
no, but he probably got what he deserved
I'm sure
because at the end of the day, my main priority, if you're in the security industry, is I want all of my employees, all of your employees, all of your staff, and all of the patrons go safe home. And if that happens to one of the staff, one of the servers, I mean, it's my responsibility to make sure that that doesn't happen again.
Got it.
Granted, we are not in the business to break heads. We're not in the
Right.
business to physically hurt people. We're in the business to make sure that you enjoy your party
Exactly.
and you go back home safely.
And the way we see it, we want you guys there to be seen but not heard. And
Exactly.
The least that you have to do
Be
the
discreet,
best.
because we
Exactly.
see things.
Right.
We see sex. We see transfer of things. We see drugs. We see sniffers. We see stuff.
Why
And
do
be
you-
discreet.
Why do you
20
guys
years ago,
understand.
20 years ago, sex in the bathroom meant put a security guard at the door so that nobody bothers them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now it's funny. So let
Actually,
me ask you
and
this.
I'm going to be honest, and I have worked in clubs in my past, and I'm going to basically not say it, but
Right.
there still exist those clubs, that there's a bathroom reserved for the owner and the owner friends, for they can do whatever they want.
Whatever they want, right?
Awesome.
Yeah, it's that simple. Well, but
That is the real world.
Now, why this side of the business? So
I do not have my own bathroom.
In a nightlife
By the way.
entrepreneur, there's guys who they say, you know what, let me become a club promoter. There's people that say, let me become a server. But where is it that you guys, said safety? I mean, in the nightlife entrepreneur world, I want to be in the safety world. And in your case, you not only wanted safety, but you also said, let me clean up the mess.
keep it clean.
Let me clean the mess at night. How does why the security? Why or did it happen organically?
Right.
Like,
What happened with us was mainly that I built my connections, and I just knew a lot of people that owned venues. Maybe they weren't the promoters; they just owned it, and they had a lot of liability issues. So then I'm actually the most specific. I don't like problems or anything, and that's kind of what I tell everyone.
Yeah,
the
you're
better
kinda
that
like-
no issues for anyone. No one can get sued.
That's
so-
very common in people like black belts and those things.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, like you guys
Yeah, like-
learn how to deal with people and all that, but in the end, I guess it's something you also learn while
Right.
you're at it, that
You
not
just
to
wanna-
use it
Yeah,
unless
it's like it's so
Yes.
pointless. So a lot of my friends that I knew, we were already cleaning the venue. Oh man, I'm having problems with the security company. They just beat some guy up. I'm gonna get sued over it. It was excessive force.
Okay,
blah, 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 blah.
so that's a good topic that you brought up.
Yeah.
The club will get sued because when things like that happen, explain for somebody who wants
Yeah,
to be a
the
club owner,
liability
like
is-
talk about
it could-
liability.
it could destroy-
Why
it could
is
destroy
better
you.
You
to
guys
have
have
a security?
insurance?
Yes,
You
of
guys-
course.
So talk about that insurance liability, like
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
there's-
need to
there's
be
two-
100% licensed.
The
and
sole
insured.
purpose of having a security company in your establishment is pretty much because you want your establishment to run efficiently, good and safe, and because it's in case of something happen, doesn't affect your liability direct.
Right.
You will have that's what you're creating.
I mean,
You're creating
there's-
a
and there's-
service provider and a partnership with the person that is
Right.
basically keeping your place safe.
And there's
Okay.
all types of like lawsuits that can arise in negligence. So, for example, a club owner and a promoter could have a security company.
Mention the
but
past with the brothers. Remember?
Yeah, they could have enough security. They could have
Yeah,
they
make
could have
yourself at
security,
home.
but then
Just
they're
tell us.
understaffed.
Right.
So then there's always a lawyer out there. 1-800 call a lawyer that'll
Yeah.
take the case and say, no, that's great. They were actually undersecured. They didn't have enough people.
So you
then
guys
they-
also have to be aware of that.
Right. So then,
Like-
you have to. So then they'll literally send expert witnesses and experts in the industry to go assess that night to see how many patroons were in the were in the counters, and they want to know how many, and then they'll say, oh, but you only had 5 people, and then there is a lawsuit for that, for being undersecured. So that's it.
Oh.
You could take out the guy. Maybe something happened. There was a use of excessive force, but you were undersecured. So only because of that, forget the medical. Maybe
could
the guy hit
lose-
first. Just because you were undersecured,
Oh, wow.
you could also get sued for it too.
So guys, if you're out there, you're thinking about owning starting your security company, is very important that you get a good lawyer and that you make sure that your insurances and your liabilities are on point.
And if you're a club owner or if you're hiring the security, understand that one of the reasons that it's not just $12 an hour or whatever you want it to be, what you used to pay your friends that used to do it back in the day, is because they also have a lot of expenses that they incur.
Exactly.
Because you are transferring the liability to them.
And you're under that umbrella, so it's actually good. When you come and break it down as far as finance wise, it covers you
Understand
in a way
something
that it's
sometimes
feasible.
believe it or not, sometimes our issue isn't even the party or the security guards or the customers. Sometimes it's the same owner that has a power trip. It has come down to this.
How many times have you heard that in this podcast?
Wow, 100 times. It's like, well, I don't know, but in our experience, it's like the owner will direct our security guard and say, you know what, I don't like those guys. Just take them out, sir. But they're not doing anything wrong, and they are aggressive. So if I approach them, they're gonna get mad. I don't know if they're, So then the guard goes up to them and says, hey, you gotta go. It's not me. No, we do our black belt. Our
black belt thing.
Our verbal judo. Sorry, we'll tell him.
Black belt. We do our black belt. We just
we do our verbal judo.
We do our verbal black belt or verbal judo. We'll tell him,
hey,
the owner said it. Immediately, since we now know this guy's aggressive, it's gonna escalate. We come prepared.
Got it.
Usually, if the owner said something happened, and sometimes nothing happened, and the owner just goes, "Oh, he's flirting with the girl that I like." So,
flirting. Before I forget.
Yes, go for the flirting question.
Not really flirting. I mean, it's more about sex, baby. It's just the fact that
we're trying to bring up our ratings.
In the end, sex is
go for it, JM.
It is what we sell.
Ask
that's what we sell in the end. We've talked about this before. People do go out more when they're alone than when they're in with a couple.
Of course.
For a reason. That is what guys and girls are looking for most of the time.
Yes.
But there's one thing that I wanted to ask about.
Shout outs to romance.
Yes. And that is unfortunately date rape.
Date rape.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, like the use of like roofies or Robinol, whatever you call it, all those things. There's a story I was hearing which I've heard thousands of times, if not every night, which is basically a couple of girls that go out, they're having drinks. Let's say 3 girls are out, they're having drinks, they're dancing at the at the dance floor, having a good time by themselves, drinking, over drinking, let's say,
having fun,
but having a good time. They have their Uber, they have their driver, they're not concerned, nobody's concerned about them driving afterwards. Great, they're just having a good time. And then all of a sudden you see there's 2 guys that are at the bar, and they'll come up to them and they'll start rubbing shoulders and start dancing next to them, and you will see a lot of the times, I'd say it's more than half the time, that the girls will accept that invitation,
cool.
And they'll just keep on going, whatever. In the end, one of these guys maybe pulls one of the girls aside, goes towards a corner that has not as crowded. They keep on going. Things lead one to another. They end up kissing.
Dark,
Girl thinks she's controlling her thoughts.
Can I make an interruption right there?
Yeah.
Just so you know, at that point, we should identify as security officers that these women are already intoxicated.
Okay, so
you
already
guys
answered,
actually do identify that situation?
we do.
So you already
identify.
answered one of my questions, which is awareness, the awareness part.
Yes.
When you guys are aware about something like this happening? So,
especially with ladies,
Right.
We have to make sure,
Right, of course.
ladies, guys, but especially when the topic is ladies.
and I'm sure it happens at a gay club too. So
No,
if a guy on
everything.
all
Do
these
you go
things
up to the girls?
No,
and
we
say,
go to the manager first
Okay.
thing, just to let him know what's happening.
So
what
you
are we
answered my
observing.
second question, which is, do you document this?
Of course.
How do you document
You have
this?
to.
So
Yeah.
You have to.
So that's important.
Wow.
I'm gonna bring up the manager just so he's aware. Listen, these girls, they're drunk.
Okay.
They're they're
Do you decide?
Drooling.
Do you decide? Hey, I don't want to be served anymore.
At that point, no. I could tell the bartender too.
Right.
We have that right as a security officer. Hey, cut him up.
All right. So a lot of these guys are good guys that just want to have fun too and want to have
The
sex.
guy's feeling lucky.
And the guy's feeling
Yeah,
lucky,
the
and
guy's
he's
feeling
had his
lucky, yeah.
drinks too. And okay, this is where the story goes wrong. And then the guy ends up leaving with the girl, takes her to his apartment. The other 2 friends are looking for her. They can't find her.
At that point, this is documented.
Okay, right.
So we know already she's with that group.
That always is happening. As a matter of fact,
It's
usually
not an
it happens.
incident yet, but yeah, that's the common
not
thing.
an
Yeah,
incident,
Right.
No,
Okay.
because sometimes they'll come back and say we still can't find
they'll-
her.
Right.
Yeah.
The girls will come
Do you
out.
get
They'll
the
find the
license
guy
plate
outside.
of the Uber? Like,
Well, at that
How
point,
far do you
like I'm saying, we already documented it.
Right.
I usually, in my personal experience of what we do, I usually put the rover just to keep an eye on them.
Okay.
Sometimes, like I'm saying, depending on the size of the venue or everything, another person just keep roving around. The other one is just keep an eye on this.
Right. So there's
It's
three ways that
Yeah.
we see it that this can go. This story in the end. One of them, the one we don't want to see, is the one where the guy, the girls hear about it the next day and something happened and she can't remember. Which is date
It
rape.
had happened.
Right.
Date rape,
So
exactly.
you have the other one where the girl comes back the next day saying, "I fucking enjoyed it. I'm going out with this guy again." Great. Love it.
love at first sight.
Exactly. But then you have that other story, which is where they never went anywhere because security stopped them at the door and asked the guy,
You're not.
or the
You don't
girl,
ask the
or
guy,
the
yeah.
girl.
We don't-
"Where you
we
going?
don't- we don't
Do you
get
know
involved.
You
There
don't
you
get
go.
involved. Okay.
So you don't get involved, but do you?
At that point, like I said,
What
we
do you do?
identified,
Do you
we,
bring your
we,
friend- do
we
you bring your
identified,
friend?
and we
Uh-huh.
just tell her friends.
Yeah.
Tell her
Like,
friends.
hey,
Okay.
your friends just, and then they're like, oh my god.
Okay.
Kind of,
Oh my God.
kind of be, kind of make them aware and be responsible of,
my God.
Right.
of the missing link,
Right.
because at that moment she's not thinking for herself.
Now sometimes
Got it.
there are the responsible friends that will say, hey, it's her
But sometimes
birthday
it's
and
not.
she's going out.
Sometimes
and
it's
let her
not.
go crazy.
Right.
So they'll come to the security guards like, can you just watch? We're not gonna babysit her. So
Right.
then we
Exactly.
already know, okay, we're gonna look at that group. And then there's times where the guard will go, it's happening. There's about to be
The
a
guard
date,
will
but
go
we-
dance with the girl. No.
Talk to me. Talk to me about a scenario that's happened that's been an unfortunate situation, and then talk to me.
Same like
about
that. Same like
a
that.
fortunate situation.
I believe 2 years ago I could recall a lady leaving from Ultra,
Okay.
taking the train and the Metro Mover. I think you guys heard it. And he was raped by the janitor in the janitor's closet on the Metro Mover,
Right.
just because she was gone.
Right.
Oh,
That was
wow.
a Miami-Dade
That was-
employee. Just
Okay, and that happened.
Yeah.
And okay.
Leaving Ultra.
Okay, and now
Do you
tell
have
me,
a tip to give the girls that go out?
Yeah.
Like, is there something to watch or like how do you see it?
Yeah, like let girls know
I would.
how safe they are when they go out.
Listen,
like that
you,
they could
you just
be
gotta,
comfortable
you just need to be aware.
Communicate.
Exactly. You just need to be. If you're in a group, like he said, communication is key. And then if you go out by yourself, you just need to be aware that they're unfortunately
Right.
in this world, they're all kind of animals out there,
Right.
and they're going. If they could, they're going to rape you.
Right.
Right.
Wow.
Just don't
Be
put
careful.
yourself vulnerable and put yourself in a situation that goes like that. We can only do so much. Like for say, the only time that we interfere, basically, is when we see the person, pretty much, dead walking, or just laying there, and then you see, because I have seen it, people fingering her,
Right. It's crazy.
or trying to basically do many
I've seen
things with her.
sex, like right in
Yeah,
the
that's
middle of the.
And she's gone. You know that
Wow.
she's gone. She's drunk or she's on anything.
And
she's
you guys
gone.
there
And then we
interrupt
are
the
right there.
situation.
Hey, what is this?
Do you call the cops
No,
on that
no,
guy?
no. But automatically, yes,
Yeah.
because at this point, she's unconscious.
Yeah.
Wow.
You
It's
basically
rape,
need to
man.
put her. You need to put her. She can actually
Die.
walk for herself.
So talk to
Or
me about a
anything.
good story. Have you a positive story about, like, has there been a client or someone who's called you guys, who's thanked you guys for like saving my life, or
Yes.
any
we've gotten,
success stories
like
that
Google reviews, like where they'll
Google
just,
reviews,
they'll leave
okay.
like a comment on the venue, like, "Wow, thanks to the security guard,
So you do
I
get
found my
those.
phone, I
We
found my
do.
watch, I found my
Exactly.
wallet,
I found my head.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I
my
said,
house.
we're very. I know marketing is very important, but like I said, we do have confidentiality with our clients because we do work in nightlife venues,
Right.
but in hospitality.
Right.
Most of the clubs right here in Miami, they're inside hotels.
Exactly.
So we do work inside the hotel. So just to keep it like that, just to keep
Right.
it on the down low, what they do is basically they leave a review and they basically name our guy.
Right.
Okay.
Got it.
We don't try to basically broadcast because this is what we do every day. This is our work.
Michael, we are pretty much running out of time today. It's been
One more question. I know this was like
Yeah, no, and I was gonna say that we're gonna have like a lot more to talk about regarding security, like fake IDs and.
Oh, no, of course, yeah.
No, I wanted to talk about like
part two.
securities that like security A-list securities versus A-list security. Like what happens? You know, sometimes we hear about
yeah.
celebrities getting into an altercation with a celebrity, and the security is there. How do you even?
Happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
We have
Let's call our lawyer first.
yeah, like that.
we
no,
have
that's
been
happening.
we have been in there's a particular case of a very good friend of mine, and I'm sure he won't have a problem by me disclosing it.
Oh,
We
You heard it here first, okay?
Yeah, we had an issue in Argentina with an A-lister,
yeah.
very big A-lister. He also had an issue, the same one in Miami,
Okay.
and just to keep it, I don't want to disclose the name
Yeah,
of the
you don't have
artist,
to.
but my
Can you sing
friend.
a song?
I know. Say, we'll dance. Don't let us know who he is, but just
Well, and my friend actually, just because he was in the middle of it, we got caught into an international madhouse
Wow.
in Buenos Aires, and I had to basically, at that particular moment, basically put it on the first priority list, even before the artist, so he can actually leave the country. And then after that, I mean, he's been involved in, arrest and stuff like that, just because this artist,
wow. So
Went already.
that's another segment.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the Night Father?
I don't know if we have time today. Do we have any
Do we
time?
have any time?
All right, we got 5 minutes, man. So we're good.
Thank you, team. Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. Yeah, we
This
can't
is
say
the-
any names, but
Okay.
all right.
Sorry, we can't mention that.
We'll have him here.
At some point.
Eventually,
At some
eventually.
point.
Yeah, we'll bring him here.
we're going to grow at that
Episode
point, yeah.
222.
Drinking some Cusqueña, why not?
was
Episode
Cusqueña.
200, yeah, definitely.
So so we're gonna definitely have an episode 2 for sure about regarding
A-list
security,
securities.
and we definitely would love to have you guys back. But at the end of every episode, we have a little segment called the Night Father, and
Father.
we already know that we got 10 kids amongst the 4 of us. You guys guess who's got the most, but and who has none.
Camilo.
But we have a segment that's basically where we talk about nightlife and being a parent. And
Yes.
before the interview, you asked us, how do you do it being a parent, being in the nightlife? And I'm just gonna turn that back to you, because you got 3 kids too,
Yeah.
and with this kind of
Yeah, no, and my question is this. This was my question. Being a dad and being in the security business, has it made you change? Is there is there situations where you say, you know what,
that could be my daughter.
Of
that could be my
course.
daughter, or
Every day. Every day I think of that.
or it could be a situation that it's dangerous and you're like, man, I got 3 kids at home. I'm not, you know what? Flashlight to the guy. Hey, you just started last week.
Oh, you got no kids, you go.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
First, we have to lead by example,
Okay.
and I'm not
JC's fucked.
and he can actually vouch that we basically, that's our mojo. I mean, we lead by example. I mean,
You lead by example.
we
So
go
you don't-
first. If it's on me, I have to go, and I have to take the nice shirt and put the black on again,
Got
just to
it.
protect one of my guys because he has family too. I mean, I would.
So is this
You
something
guys-
you would even like your kids to do at some point in time?
If they're driven to it, yes.
Okay.
If
So
they're
if you
driven
see-
to
They like
it,
it.
yeah, if they
Yeah.
like it, yes.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it has some type of like principle training, physical.
Would mom agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably not.
I don't think that would be their mom decision. I mean,
Right, for sure.
I'm good with supporting my kid 100% in whatever he wants to do.
Got it.
And there's going to be a time in our kid's life.
You're gonna have to answer to her when you get home.
No, I understand that.
Yeah, I know. What you say that he could do? He is not doing security.
Well, there's a point in life
He's cleaning. He's
yeah,
doing the maintenance side.
in every independent individual that you need to persuade it,
Right.
Got it.
not impose anything to him.
So it didn't affect your way of work? Did it affect it? Did
I mean,
it change it?
now, of course,
Are you
now I'm more
conscious
aware.
of things?
Of
Yeah.
course, I'm more aware, and I wouldn't want anything that would happen to any of my kids to
So it's
happen
actually,
to anybody.
So it's actually made you more aware.
Of
That's
course.
it, yeah.
Got it.
All right, so I think that's gonna do it for
Man,
today, guys.
this was quick. I
went
felt like
fast.
It felt like nothing.
Got a lot to talk about.
Well, I hope we've entertained you all. Once again, you can follow me at Ico Taps Beer and at Doral Food and Wine Festival. where could they find you guys if they want
Well,
top security?
Of course, is www.hmsprotection.com or www.highmaintenanceservices.com.
Yeah.
High maintenance service.
Instagram, the Nightlife Entrepreneur. At LMG Miami, you find our parties. Remember, you can find the book, The Nightlife Entrepreneur, on Amazon. You can find Cusqueña in
Hey, ask
everywhere
for
right now.
Cusqueña,
Just ask
okay?
for it,
Ask for Cusqueña.
and remember to find our website,
Yes.
nightlifeentrepreneurs.com/podcast, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, all those things.
Who's
and
bringing?
we want to thank El Tucán
El
Miami,
Tucán Miami.
for allowing us to do our interview from
Yes.
here today.
This place is great. We're gonna.
By the way,
Friday
a new
nights.
Friday
here in
night
Miami.
Latin party,
Yeah.
and this is becoming a nightclub now. So you guys gotta come here.
El
1111
Tucán, ya tú
South
sabes,
Miami.
de bailar
No, I
aquí.
mean 1111 First Avenue. South, yeah.
Google
First
El Tucán,
Avenue.
Brickell.
Behind South Miami.
Yeah.
We'll see you next
Miami.
week.
Thank you very much. Keep
Thank
listening.
you. Be safe.